side D+ in the series.
Yeah.
So T1, they came up with a bit of crazy draft in game one. Didn't really work. Weren't convinced by it. They now need to problem solve again to try and break the blue side win streak in this series so far. I think one thing, I agree, they should definitely ban Ziggs.
Yeah, I think that might be the adaptation that's required. Shuriman bans, once again. Azir, Nasus, Lilia should probably be the bans here. It was Rumble, LeBlanc, Smolder in game number one.
I love it when they change the order, but they keep the bans the same. It's very funny.
Yeah. This is same order, same bans?
I think it has to be Ziggs. I think it has to be Ziggs here. I don't think you give it over again. Building, the item build we're not talking about, but in terms of the champion, D+ definitely know how to play around it. They banned the Vi instead. I think not great, but at least you don't have the Vi Ziggs combo, which is very limited counterplay. But I think D+ probably just still going to lock it in. We'll see. Maybe they think without the Vi, they're not as high priority on it, but
I think it's still the lock-in because, I don't know about taking the Maokai instead. Because I don't think Oner had a great game in game number one. They are going to lock that one away.
Yeah, I think if you took Ziggs and T1 took Maokai, you're winning.
Yeah, and you were winning. It already happened.
You give Oner Maokai and you're like, great, because, you know, Oner obviously, I feel like sometimes gets some fair criticism, but his Maokai was not it in game one. So I think T1, you can't give them Ziggs and Maokai for sure, so we expect that to be locked in. And the question is now, if D+ went into this, right, expecting, you know, you pick the Maokai knowing the Ziggs is going over, so what's the plan? Are you going to try and do something like we saw from the Honor Life Esports series against T1, where you have full dive, like playing around the Kai'Sa? Is that the angle? We'll have to see.
Well, this is the thing. I actually think Maokai Kai'Sa is very, very strong, right? You put CC onto everyone on the screen, basically, by pressing your R button.
Lots of targets.
Yeah, you can definitely work your way around that one as Faker will lock in the Corki once again. A little bit of denial as well. We've seen Maokai Corki be pretty popular. Zeri would be a different way of doing it. Still very maneuverable.
You know, they're looking at aiming with a camera, but I feel like the Zeri would have been for Showmaker. They go for the LeBlanc. So LeBlanc's been left open, they're going to pick it. LeBlanc can be a very annoying champion for, I mean, both Ziggs and Corki, because you don't really have time to get your damage out. You know, you Phosphorus Bomb or you Bouncing Bomb, and she's already pulled back. She's unloaded combo down. She's dashed back.
There's a lot of delayed damage in Ziggs' kit just in general, and so if you just unload, then she's just not going to be there anymore.
Yeah, and Jhin, you know, Jhin Maokai, pretty powerful combo where you open up with the Maokai, the LeBlanc can do work to get them low, the Jhin can ult from a distance. And I think the Sejuani makes sense because you need someone to block.
Yeah.
I think blocking the Maokai, blocking the Jhin ult shots, you need someone tanky enough to do that. Now, Lee Sin ban comes through because T1, consider the fact it could be a flex Maokai to support, and it could be Lee Sin LeBlanc. They respect that. I mean, I think it's justified against Lucid and Showmaker to respect that combo. We do see the Camille ban coming through to deny that from Zeus. I think it makes a lot of sense. He had a fantastic game, obviously, previously with that setup.
Yep, a lot of pressure now on Moham to actually ban something. That's, I think, one of the most important things here in this game is to see whether his ban game has been upgraded.
Yeah, it's on you, right? You kind of messed us up
about
last
25
time.
seconds on the clock, Moham.
He's looking away for the monitor. Okay, he's back at the monitor. It's fine.
You can't be deliberating at a time like this.
He's looking away. He needs confirmation. Can he do it? It would be a big step up from last game.
It's getting so stressful. We are ticking down. We don't actually have the timer, but look at that green bar. It is disappearing. Moham, please! Oh, God, okay. Oh, okay, he's going to ban Vayne.
Moham.
There it is.
He clutched it.
He did.
You know what? That shows learning, and that shows growth.
Character development.
Right there.
Here in my LCK. You love to see it.
It doesn't mean we're going to get the Leona in the bot lane. And with both a Lee Sin and a Nocturne ban, T1 are suspect of this Maokai. Maokai LeBlanc, not the most inspiring mid-jungle duo, and I think that's a big reason why they're so untrusting of this combo. Leona and Sejuani, a lot of CC from these two, a bit more single target. I mean, obviously you can AoE with Leona's ult, but it's not like a rel. And speaking of, I mean, here's the question: do you want to flex? I mean, keep the Maokai in the jungle and pick something for Moham? Jhin Braum does not fill me with joy at all.
No, please do.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Man, Moham's really adjusted in Game 3.
you know, he's just toying with us. But like, Roman and Ziggs, not the play, but the Rel, we've seen Mohan be fantastic on this. You have great engage here to set up. And in terms of following up on those engages, the Jace could be the pick for D+.
That's a lot of poke.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Kenny.
No, I'm not a fan of the Kennen here. We've seen Kennen struggle a lot, but triple AP topside.
Oh, it's Aatrox.
I mean, it's Kingan's Aatrox. You know, I can't really fault him too much for picking it. It's AD, which is better than the Kennen.
Yep.
But you're also a comp where the clear goal for D+ is to kind of go forwards, poke people out, follow up with the ult. I feel like the Aatrox is sometimes better served when comps are diving into him.
Oh,
and
Yone!
All back. You can remember, 2022 Worlds, Yone had to be banned against Zeus because he was picking it into Kingan's Aatrox and doing some work, so...
I seem to remember there was a certain, the Shy guy on the top side of the map as well that...
Shy guy? Why was he shy?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask him. Of course, you were the LPL commentator when he was playing. That was a little bit after my time.
He doesn't play like a shy guy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely true. But this is a top lane matchup that shouldn't go very well for the Aatrox. We'll see whether Kingan can pull out some of that Worlds 2022 before Zeus pulls out the Worlds 2023.
Oh, yeah.
To show him right back. This is a lot of fun. Some blasts from the past, but we'll see how far back we end up going when looking at that top lane.
Yeah, I think, honestly, overall, T1 has the edge in this draft, not just because they picked Ziggs, but the top lane matchup's good. The only concern, really, I feel like, because in the 5v5s, I think they're really set up for success. Strong skirmish topside, the Oner Ziggs great pairing. The only thing is that LeBlanc. If we see a situation where, you know, like the Rel gets to interrupt mid, where the Maokai comes mid, if Showmaker gets fed, the whole game could just fall out of control. And again, Moham on this Rel has been an absolute monster, so yeah. It's a lot of strength, a lot of pocket picks for D+. 3 players on their best champions, honestly, it feels like, and T1 with a strong comp to answer.
Yeah, it's whether D+ can keep them at arm's length. That's going to be the question here. Let's see whether it works as we jump into the rift for game number 3. All right, T1 fans, extraordinarily loud. We are on their side of Lore Park here today, and therefore that means that we need to make sure our headsets are well and truly glued to our heads. Otherwise, we may get, you know, some sort of ear malfunction. Yeah. Oh. All right, Showmaker just going to wander past. Keria also doing the same thing.
It's just one of the nice things about playing LeBlanc is that you just so little threat to level 1s. So hard to actually catch the LeBlanc. Is a no flash LeBlanc though with that ignite, which we have seen before from Showmaker. So going for that pressure as much as possible in those skirmishes. And even though like Maokai LeBlanc isn't a combination that really inspires a ton of joy compared to like LeBlanc Lee Sin, if the Maokai lands a W, the root will follow up pretty convincingly, and they will see the bomb.
All right, aiming. Pretty cool skin there. I think there was a certain guy called Ghost. And got one of those. As he just immediately gets hit by a bomb.
Yep.
That doesn't feel great.
Easy little mana flow band stack.
Yep, there you go. We're trying to get a little bit back here as we'll have to keep track of how this bottom lane is going to go.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the... I mean, honestly, I was saying about the 3 players, because obviously Kingan, known for his Aatrox, Showmaker, the LeBlanc, and Moham for the Rel, but also Lucid on that Maokai, pretty high win rate.
Oh, Moham goes in while aiming is reloading. Subpar, that's going to mean a flash needs to come out. Ignite already used by both of these supports.
Yeah, and obviously aiming, reloading, the worst time, but it's kind of similar to Ziggs in the sense that you have the burst of damage and then you have the downtime, so didn't play well around that timing. And ultimately loses a flash on it.
So Yone into Aatrox is basically just Zeus.
Yeah.
He's really good at that. I wonder how many of those Aatroxes were also Kingan.
I wonder who was the other player who was like, you know what? Zeus can do it, I can too, and succeeded.
Yeah. I imagine it was like Dudu or something.
That would totally be him.
Yeah. You know, in my mind, he's the player that would do it.
Didn't play this matchup.
Oh god!
And then died of the Grump.
Yeah, he did. Oh, no. But I think he lost that.
No,
game.
he definitely lost. Like
yeah.
The Grump outplayed him, but he did pretty well in lane.
Definitely did. Man, that was a fun time.
Maybe I think that might have that was the other side. You know, that was one of the wins for the Aatrox. It was a good lane matchup. I think maybe for that one they should have put Aatrox plus Gromp versus.
Yeah, that's the tough part. If you can employ Gromp, then you really can get over the line. As Showmaker could be in trouble. Does have, of course, the distortion, but there's the flash from Oner. Really nicely played. He's just dead. No flash available for Showmaker. So that is first blood going down. Nicely played.
Beautifully played by Oner. Bit of a redemption after some hiccups in playoffs so far. And I think, you know, on LeBlanc, you have this sense of safety, this sense of untouchability. No flash, you are vulnerable.
Yeah. Gumayusi taking a fourth shot to the noggin. That is suboptimal. Not a whole lot of mana here for the Ziggs.
Yeah, it does have biscuits though. I mean, this is the thing, is a lot of Ziggs, you get the mana flow band, you get the early stacks, and then your biscuits give so much mana back that you can kind of just stay in lane a lot longer and wait for your spikes. We do see Lucid hanging around. Hasn't thrown a sapling though over the wall, I don't think, so doesn't reveal his position.
Yeah. I'm going to give that one up. Does instead decide that he's going to be heading towards the top side. It wasn't Faker that got that first blood. The fact that it's Oner that picks it up, I think, makes Showmaker a little bit happier here in this matchup. If it was Faker, who then gets to go back and buy a bunch of extra items,
yeah, maybe I wonder if
could be more worrying.
The Hex Drinker tech. You know, we often see into LeBlanc, like 80 champions go on the early Hex Drinker.
Yep.
It does slow down your build a lot as a Corki, but I could see it making sense in this situation. So if you had gotten that kill, it could be a lot closer to picking it up, and it would have been problematic. Just a repeat.
If at first you succeed, just do it again.
Yeah, and
with
Keria does have flash, so would be able to follow the distortion if they wanted to. And this is the timing before Showmaker gets 6.
Yep. Showmaker is just going to throw out a chain, doesn't hit it. Finds an electrocute though.
Faker really wanted to bait Showmaker to distortion and in, and Showmaker's like, I ain't falling for that one.
Nope. Well, this time around, we're going to check this one out from Oner's perspective.
Okay.
And just a Q flash there, follows it perfectly. The W's dodged by the LeBlanc, but yeah, it doesn't matter at that point. Really well played.
Yep, gorgeously done. In fact, starts off the Arctic Assault to make sure that he then distorts, and so he knows exactly what he has to do. Very nicely done there by Oner. Of course, his Sejuani has been pretty good so far this season.
And I think it gets difficult if Showmaker ends up behind. The top jungle 2v2 is borderline unplayable. You can see already the 1v1 forking going really bad.
Yep.
If Sejuani joins and it's Sejuani Yone against Aatrox Maokai, it's brutal. So definitely don't want to opt into that one. So it's not like you can really get too much help.
Yeah, Oner might be overextended here a little bit. No Aftershock anymore, as now he's trying to set it up for a turn. I think realizing that he's just dead, the distortion does go through, but now Keria could be in trouble as well. Moham's burning down, so Faker is able to get that kill, but Keria likely to fall as well, just waiting for that twisted advance, and there it is from Lucid. Punch goes the Brambles, and there goes the Leona, as aiming and Gumayusi just fighting here towards the bottom side.
Just an overstep from Oner without the flash. Felt like he had safety with his team backing him up, and this does lead to pressure on Grubs, but Zeus is going to scare Lucid away. Use the twisted advance to twisted disengage.
Yep, or advance backwards. As Moham is still here. Faker is still pushing forward. Moham kind of wanted him to go a little bit further forward. Crashdown does not connect. Just one Grub going to be taken by D+. He's going to give the rest over to Oner by the looks of things, unless he does come to try and go for some sort of contest. You can see Moham still in the area trying to threaten.
I think Oner should be able to get that one, and then he has Smite up for the last, so should be safe. You can see Keria and Faker moving into cover. So I think they're okay.
Yep.
T1 getting 2. Big Grubs early, fantastic with Ziggs. Now, Oner does see Showmaker.
Yeah, he's going to distort back. You can see Lucid wants to try and get this. Does secure the blue buff, but I think he's going to die for it. And there we go. Oner says, nope, that's mine. And he's able to take down the tree. Now T1 looking to cascade this towards the top lane as Kingin already at 50%. Moham trying to come in and defend, but there is so much to defend from. There is the fate sealed, and it's exactly that. Zeus helps just lock him down while Faker tidies it up, and they'll take plates as well.
Beautiful execution there. Keria doing a great job on Lucid. Takes aggro first there as well. And the angle, in that situation, you always want to try and hug the wall. That's what everyone does in a dive. You're hugging the wall, getting behind the tower. And Zeus, you could see him lining it up and manages to find both targets with the ult. Really good execution. This is that initial play where Oner overstepped contesting this ward. The big thing is he queued in on Moham. That's the mistake here that cost him. No flash, you use your Q. It means the chains as a free connect. And it does backfire quite heavily for T1. So good punish there from D+. And in the ensuing fight, yes, we see Moham go down. But it still ends up favored for D+ here.
Yep. Lucid just finds Twisted Advance, but it can't stay good for D+, unfortunately.
Low here, and T1 sense it. That was Keria finding a blindy flash over the wall, beautifully played. And then here, you know, Moham and King are in trouble, so they go against the wall. Look at this, ease to the side, you can see him lining it up. As soon as the Zenith Blade comes in, also hits both. Keria's the one with aggro. The damage is there to follow up. Just really well played from T1.
Yep, Soul Unbound there to make sure that Zeus was never in any trouble either. So now 1,800 gold the lead for T1. And remember, guys, this is not their serve. This is red side for T1. This would be catastrophic if D+ lost this one.
Oh, I'm getting the Fierce Dragon as well. You have the Grub's Edge, you get the Fierce Dragon. It's Cloud Ocean, so, I mean, T1, I'm hoping it's not a chem tech, but there's a lot of good souls still available.
Yeah.
Faker has gone for that early Hex Drinker, 202, so that extra gold. I mean, he's got Hex Drinker and a Ruby Crystal. It's going to be a hard target for Showmaker to really threaten. You see him hit him there, and it just doesn't really do anything. But top lane is where it is really bleeding out right now. Already the tower's really low, and Kingen, if you take some bad trades, you're just losing your tower. And remember, this is a Ziggs team. If T1 ever want to move Guma up here, he can just finish it off. He has TP. They might look to do that in the next minute or so.
Yeah, this is looking really rough for King, and you can see 67 and 91. The lead for this Yone is getting absolutely absurd.
You know, honestly, the only reason I'd say you wouldn't move the Ziggs up here is if you want to extend the laning phase, because Kingen is having a horrible time. And you can see, it looks like D+ might be like, yeah, we need to end this sooner rather than later. They are bringing their entire team up, and they're like, Kingen, just please go somewhere else. Don't. And Kingen's like, yeah, I'll appreciate that.
Well, they're going to find the knockup. Deadly Flourish does not connect, as this may have given up the play. Over the wall goes Keria, though, gets a control ward down. There's the Nature's Grasp. The Zenith Blade just stopped the follow-up. There's the ulti out from Zeus. Remember, he can just rebind. And Moham, too low to fight once again. The mitigation here of that top lane aggression, just gorgeous. Moham able to crash his way out of the Mega Inferno Bomb, but Solar Flares coming through, everything flying down. Decent knock up there. Faker could be in trouble. Lucid able to find that one. And that should be the tree being able to lock this one down. The flash over, the Bramble Smash to come on through. Meanwhile, the fight is continuing. The curtains have been called, but I don't think it's for DK. I think it's on the other side. The Zenith Blade going to miss there as you saw Moham trying to drag Keria over, but he's still very healthy. T1 unable to find anything, but it was DK trying to make the play.
Yeah, TP flag.
Oh, God. In. Yeah, we're going deep. Once again, Showmaker looking for that angle.
So scrappy, so scrappy. And D+ ended up getting more kills out of this, but, you know, they make that big concerted effort to try and punish Zeus. It doesn't really pay off. And in the back and forth that comes after, they don't die, and D+ was honestly getting close.
Yeah, aiming gets a big gasp from the crowd.
Yeah.
But otherwise, not too much more. He's just going to go back home. T1, they're looking to grab a whole bunch of grubs. That is going to be 5 on the table for a Ziggs team.
Oh, man. And that's how top's gone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to be honest. Auto W, probably going to be enough. Close to. Not far off. So, Showmaker's here to try and defend. Guma is a little bit low. That's the only thing. So, maybe they can't push up right now. But if they want that tower, it is there for them to take. And here, Faker rotating over. It says, my team is fine. I'll go back. Dashes in a Showmaker because with the Hex Drink, he's so confident. And nearly actually gets him, and then Lucid's there. And that's the unfortunate thing. It was a good move from Lucid, but maybe if Faker was able to get like one more auto off with a flash, could have got it. But trades there, and Lucid does get the cleanup, gets 400 gold for that.
Yeah.
While that was happening, you know, Zeus piloting this Yone, it's not even just the fact that obviously he can set up these big plays, he's winning lane, but the fact they collapse onto him that many members, and he gets out without even really losing any health, kind of insane.
Yeah, and no one died outside of Faker in that play. It was, I believe it was 2 and 5.
Yeah, it was
throughout that whole thing. And it was all just T1 playing defense on that top side, and that meant that, you know, this matchup in the top lane is going to go unhindered on T1's side, now moving towards a 50 CS gap. Like, this is just nuts. Blind Aatrox, never something we've been that much of a fan of here in the LCK.
Yeah, I feel like
and we're beginning to see why.
It was when Aatrox was giga broken.
Oh god, okay, well, the world is ending, but for who is the question, as Keria is taking up the turret for a really long time. And Kingen was lit on fire, but that's basically it. Still had to use his ulti, so still value.
Because there was that time in like spring where both Zeus and Kingen were picking it, but that was when it was like the lethality build and it was super overtuned.
Yep.
Camp is not the same right now.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, let's try again as... Okay, the ulti did come on through there from Zeus, did a decent job as there is a Mega Inferno Bomb and he's not going to be able to dodge that. Faker just ends Kingen. And so 3 versus 1, that is going to do it. Technically 3.5, I guess, because Gumayusi offered an arbor.
I will say though, you know, T1 ahead, things are looking good for them. Zeus is really strong, but if you look at the towers in the side lane, both on 2 plates, I'm of the opinion that they should have moved Guma and picked up both of these. Not really utilizing the Ziggs to the maximum potential. But here, Kingen did what he could. He dodges away from the ult to the end with that dash. But, you know, this is like, you're stalling, but he's just never able to change his fate, really, sadly.
Yeah.
Aatrox not the best champion at defending against those dives, and not as slippery as a Oner is.
Certainly not what he used to be when it comes to surviving. But Lucid now looking for a little bit of an opportunity on this Rift Herald. But I'm starting to feel the apprehension from D+ in this game. Glacial Prison going to connect onto aiming. He cleanses it immediately. The flank for the Aatrox. I mean, Kingen just needs a way to be useful in this game. Deadly Flourish is fantastic there, but just not quite enough. A bit of an overreach there as T1 just looking to find their angle. They want to make sure that they have exactly the right play to be made.
Yeah, Guma's recalling lower mana. You know, he could potentially even TP bot and just take the tower if he really wanted. It looks like he's going to come in.
Yep.
Nades. I'm not sure about this because the Herald's already gone. And I'm not really sure what you're hoping to achieve.
I think they want to get this dragon.
I guess that's the game plan. They are moving towards it, but this might sacrifice mid-tier 1. If they just Herald, I guess Guma's moving to defend it. It's a little bit back and forth.
Keria going to get chained up momentarily. As Faker, he's the one that moved down towards the bottom side, and they do manage to grab themselves the dragon.
Give up pressure around mid, though. They're not going to be able to stop the Herald at this point.
Hextech Soul, that is a big deal. Let's address that after a potential fight does perhaps happen here, as no. Looks like Faker going to be taking this outer turret on the bottom lane, and Kingen with some spare time, able to at least hit the turret in the top lane. Zeus moving up there now, should be able to defend. And as we can see, it's not going to be Kingen sticking around. Does not want to bite off more than he can chew, and absolutely is going to be the case there, as Lucid now possibly in trouble as Oner does move forward. Trading some cues there as Deadly Flourish is going to connect from aiming. Nicely done.
So T1 get the dragon, you know, Hextech Soul obviously a big win for them. They're now looking top for Kingen though. He is healthy. You can see Guma's moving to ult though on top of this.
Yeah, and we have the World Ender up and available. The chains did connect, but he's just dead. In goes Showmaker, does manage to find the follow-up kill onto the Oner who was tanking the turret at the same time. Keria going to get snared up by the chains and doesn't find the Zenith Blade. The Ignite ticking down, and there's the last auto. Showmaker grabs the double.
Yeah, good TP coming in for Showmaker to clean that up, and now Oner in trouble.
Yeah, Deadly Flourish actually going to be brambly smashed away from. That's anti-synergy. Not exactly what we're looking for there. So as Moham, he's in the enemy jungle.
I think the takeaway from this is Showmaker's getting very strong. Kingen is pretty useless, but I think it was blind Aatrox, yeah, not really much you can do about that one, but Showmaker is becoming a big threat, and that is a concern for T1. They're still really far ahead, they still have 2 dragons in pocket, this game is definitely still in their control, but this might be a pain point for them as the game goes on. We see here the CC's laid well, the ult's on top with that TP coming in, they have to spend so much time under tower. Zeus takes so much damage, there's just no realistic ways getting out of that one. Actually think maybe he should have just saved the flash. But Keria also ends up going down for their sins.
Yeah, nicely played here by Showmaker to make sure he distorts past Keria, make sure the Zenith Blade is the most difficult to land as a bit of a drive-by, but the Glacial Prison comes down. Lucid is not very tanky, he has to flash to get himself out of the Mega Inferno Bomb. Oh, the rocket almost able to take him down there by Faker, and now he's coming back in. The Magnet Storm, phenomenal, but it is still Moham falling here. Kingen is just way too weak to join this fight, and it's a double kill for Faker. Showmaker nowhere in sight, and the curtains. Is it going to be enough here to be able to lock this one up? The last bullet doesn't really do too much. And D+, I think they thought they had it. Maybe they thought they had more damage as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you need Showmaker to put the work in. You need him there. You need him to get the damage down. Faker's really fed right now. He's going to be basically having his 2-item spike plus the Hex Drinker. You know, it's the spot where normally you'd have that 2-item spike. And he's got that bonus 1300 gold item. So he is scary right now, and he just shreds everyone. You know, Lucid and Moham have the preconception that they're actually tanky. They're not, compared to this team for T1. They're getting melted.
It's a 5,000 gold lead almost. Showmaker now potentially going to face check as well, as he does do exactly that. And is then just going to leave.
And I think a big thing with LeBlanc is here being fed is fantastic. But LeBlanc operates around, playing around vision. You know, dipping in and out, getting poked down. Really, D+ need to find a scenario where Showmaker can get the work done. And I think until they do that, they're going to lose any fight they try and set up for. Especially if they're relying on Kingen.
Oh, aiming and after flash, does do so kind of nonchalantly. It felt like a nonchalant flash.
It feels like we've had this cycle of aiming just burning sums in the last, like it was cleansed a couple of times, now flash, where it's like, okay, someone's thrown at him and he immediately uses the sums, and it's the right choice, but it just shows the threat on the side of T1. Oh, Zeus in trouble.
Yeah, Worldender going to come on through here as Zeus trying to dodge these Qs. Does do so, and the E, and now Lucid is making his way forward. Teleports everywhere, and the ulti does come on down. It's a 1-for-1, but Faker's going to be able to trade another one back in the end. And now aiming turns up. He's like, what did I miss? And as it turns out, aiming, he missed quite a bit. As that didn't miss. Oner's able to take down aiming with the Glacial Prison, or at least hit him with it. Not able to get the kill just yet. They want to kill Showmaker instead. Oner's able to collect that kill also. And T1 kind of just running away with it.
This Corki is just monster fed. They leave open Showmaker's LeBlanc, a pick that so many teams of respect ban, and Faker, who's had a rough season, is taking over this game. Get the consistent damage down. Doesn't quite finish off Lucid this last rocket. Look how close it is.
Yeah.
Leaves him on slivers. But then the re-engage comes in. Lucid ults, but he can't join the fight. Moham gets melted. Aiming is hitting Keria, doing no damage. And Kingen, he thinks he's got Oner, but the Locket Shield was there just as the insurance bonus. And then here, Zeus waits so long to use the E. Buys as much time as possible. Does get his ult off before going down. Catches the Maokai as well. Yes, he dies, but he sets up for the Demolition Squad to clean up.
Yeah, gorgeously done. And then Oner gets hit just in time. Glacial Prison gets fired forward, but you saw exactly what they wanted. They really wanted to kill the LeBlanc, and Faker will get his target. That should be T1 locking down Soul Point as well. There is absolutely no way D+ can get over here. And we need to reiterate, I mean, look at how linear this gold lead is for T1 as they extend that one ever further. Baron now spawned, but there are bounties on the Rift. And this is a red side win.
Yeah, absolutely. This is D+ side selection with blue side, not opting to go for the Ziggs and paying for it, but really the Corki has been the star of the show.
Oh, there's another Magnus Storm to come in here. Faker actually almost pulled over the wall. In theory, that's what they were going for. Kingen finding a flank angle. Is he actually able to help lock down any of these kills, though? That's the question. As Showmaker gets in there, they take down Oner, and back goes Showmaker now. Actually tries to deceive them, but it's not going to work. As now underneath the turret goes Zeus. He's able to tank it up. Faker able to get the 1-2 on that final punch. And Lucid going in, just seeing whether he can get a twisted advance to lock it down, but Zeus is toying with them now. This is T1 through and through, and they are absolutely dominating.
It just feels like they're not even sweating. Right now, Faker in all these fights, with these threats flying around, the Maokai...
That's a lot of kills.
That is a lot of kills. Lumet getting that achievement. But as I was saying, you know, we're seeing these fights, threats flying all over the place. Kingen comes in, Lucid comes in, Showmaker comes in, and Faker's just navigating it, consistently dealing damage the whole time. Unfazed right now, and looking very in form.
Oh yeah, this is a brilliant performance by T1. And this is a bounce back that I think a lot of people were kind of expecting, right? Because it has happened in the past.
And if you look, Faker, Kingen comes in, and he knows the TP's on the other side, he knows the Maokai's there. Expectation, he's going to Valkyrie from the Aatrox. He's like, no, I'm just going to keep doing damage. Showmaker was going to go for Faker, knows he doesn't have the damage, goes for Oner instead, dies. And this whole time, Faker's just doing damage, unchallenged. And then here as well, Zeus baits out Lucid.
Yeah. Didn't even realize Lucid was standing on a ward that entire time. And they are able to take him down. Now the Baron has been started up. Aiming doesn't have his ulti up and available, and Keria will be able to break the blast cone. That will guarantee that this Baron does fall, and now Zeus looking for an angle, doesn't find the ulti. Does get the flash out from Lucid though.
You know, just don't let him near the pit, and Lucid can't steal the Baron. Kingen is on a flank,
Whoa.
but...
How did he get there?
Yeah, I'm not sure this 0-6 Aatrox is really that much of a threat.
It's a cool, like, flank position though. It's over the wall he goes. Misses a whole bunch of buttons right now as the Magnet Storm comes in from Moham, but he is just free food. Lucid cannot get in there. And D+, they're just going to back away.
And you can see, you know, obviously because this Aatrox is weak, D+ have to move up to allow him to flank. If he goes solo, he's just going to die. But the second D+ move forwards, T1 immediately pull back. Guma disengages, and it's a Ziggs Corki. They both have ways of creating space, and the punishment is this. Tier 2 tower down mid, T1 moving straight up towards the top side where that Tier 2 tower is, and Kingen, you are not able to defend this. I think the thumbs up is the right call.
Yep, I think Kingen kind of realizing that it's just not quite going to work, as now they look to try and layer in a bunch of CC onto the unbound soul of the Yone. That's not going to work, so they just take the inner turret. T1 now with a 4,000 gold Red Bull Baron power play. It's not too bad here for the squad as we have a look at this fight one more time. Optimistic on that flank from Kingen, and it's Moham that pays the price.
I can't fault D+ for looking for this sort of play, because I think you have to look for these, but the problem is Kingen's just too weak. The rest of the engage isn't fast enough to get there in time. Moham gets shredded immediately, and nothing really comes from it. You know, I think part of this is compositional issues. I think the top lane matchup is rough, but also just didn't get off the ground running, which they really needed to with this composition. And now T1 looking towards that bot lane tower. And it's just, you have to send 5 members here. You have to be like, we are ready to fight right now. That's the only thing that discourages T1 from immediately taking it. And you see aiming moves up towards mid to clear the wave, and the bot tower is going to go. They are looking for an engage now, though.
All right, Moham is going to take the Hex Tech gate. Curtains have been called, trying to find a few of these into the backline as Zeus says, no, you do not press R, not on my watch. Good sidestep there from Aiming, though, as he does get thrown back. Aiming, can he find the Deadly Flourish? He does, but his turret's dead. And Zeus just walks it off because there is zero follow-up from that far away. Meanwhile, whatever's happening here, some supportal combat, as Doa did say.
Let them do their thing.
Yeah, okay. Just wandering around. One's got a lance, one's got a sword and shield. It's like a Renaissance fair fight, you know, between the two of them. Oh no, the real damage is coming in as Moham just wants to, he wanted to deny the kill to Yone. It's not going to work. He pressed Q.
They delay the kill. Moham's dead for 20 seconds. Hextech Soul is up. This game was already in a borderline unwinnable spot. Add Hextech Soul to the mix, and
I don't. So, like, what's like? You can't really get more over than over though, because over's still over.
Yeah. Well, no, you can. Oh, it's what you say when you're on walkie-talkies. When you stop talking, you say over.
Yeah.
You've done the conversation, you say...
Over and out!
There you go!
Oh, so this is over and out!
This game's over and out!
Oh, baby, I like that. We haven't done that one before. I like talking about walkie-talkies as well. It's better than talking about a game that is over and out, you know?
I remember when you were a kid and you'd have a walkie-talkie, and it doesn't matter how like irrelevant or meaningless a conversation is, put on a walkie-talkie.
Oh, so much more fun.
So much more fun.
Oh,
just call you walkie-talkie your friend. You took one of the meets, right?
Yeah.
It's like late at night. You're like, hey, you there? Over?
Yeah.
Oh man.
You can even talk about the fruit bowl. You know, it's like any apples left, over.
And you don't actually care if there are.
No, you
left.
don't. And he's like, bring me an apple though. And then you just don't even eat the apple. You just play Nintendo instead. It's okay. T1 looking to push in and end the game. No Baron up just yet. 2 minutes on that one. As D+, I mean, this is a circling of the drain if ever we've seen one, especially with that Hextech Soul. Look, that's just poke damage from a solar flare, and then the real poke damage is... Oh, God! Gumayusi says nope to the Jin, and now Kingen's trying to get out of there. The world is ending, but I think it's his. And there's the ulti forward from Zeus. Tanks up the turret a whole bunch, but it doesn't matter at all. There go the turrets, and T1 says over and out to Game 3 and says hello to match point.
They managed to take down D+ on blue side. The pop of the damage numbers a bit here, but they will end the game